How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. And, yeah, a little bit of semi-homegrown English barley wine, bourbon barrel-aged English barley wine, hopeful goodness, in the form of Manskirt Brewing's Innkeeper barley wine. Manskirt Brewing, they're about an hour away from me, very close to my my girlfriend, now fiance. How about that shit? I'm getting hitched. Away from her house. Been there a couple times. I reviewed one of their beers before. That was their porter, which I thought was pretty fucking excellent. And I'm not a big porter guy, so super excited to give this a whirl. Been there a couple times. Had several beers from them. Never anything barrel aged. So super interesting stuff going on right now. At least for me. Maybe you too. Anyway, as far as what it says on the label, it says Manskirt Brewing. No pants, just great beer. 9% alcohol by volume. Innkeeper barley wine. This is bottle 173 of 240, so very small run. Hackettstown, New Jersey. Manskirt Brewing. A little autograph on the side there. You'd actually kind of rub it off, so shit's legit. On the side here we have this beer has been aged in bourbon barrels in naturally bottled condition. For best results, cool in your fridge overnight before opening. Okay, I read that weird. Anyway, the recipe comes from the mind of the Holy Inn's Barry Wasser. This big, bold English barley wine adds a burst of hops late into the process, which adds a unique flavor without imparting IPA bitterness. That'd be that. It's okay. I'm not a huge fan of Manskirt's like art design and labeling and stuff like that, but I mean, fuck. You know, if the beer is good, that rarely matters. But you know, without sounding too weird, like he is a actual like YouTube home brewer or brew tuber, kind of made good, and you know, it's not like he's coming up from like a marketing background or he has all this stuff going on. He's making do from that angle of things. So you're not necessarily looking for uber crazy marketing style. Some people are just artistic based as far as art design goes. That's a weird cork. Look at that thing. That sucker's squished down there pretty crazy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out. Yeah. Let's do the old rocking method. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I did not expect this. But, you know, from a marketing standpoint, you know, sometimes you expect people to do certain things because, you know, they have tons of money behind them beer-wise. But, ooh, ripping the cork right off that sucker. How about that? So, there you go. So, I am going to have to go get a wine key. Actually, don't know if I... Ooh, just peeled my nail back right there. I don't know if I actually have one right now. I think I actually left my only wine key out and about. So, you're going to see a jump cut right now. Hopefully I come back and we drink some beer. Cheers. And we're back. I found one. How about that shit? Thought I left it somewhere, but I ended up finding it. So hopefully this actually goes better than that wine opening. So there you go. If you buy this Manskirt barley wine, make sure you have a wine key on you because it is not meant to be opened without one. That cork was pushed so far down it was ridiculous. Not a big pop on there. Is it a good or bad sign? We're going to find out. I'm giving this a super rough pour because I don't think there's going to be much to it. Okay. Zero head. Not exactly the best. That's a bummer. Not exactly the best start to this beer. I mean, barley wines are not known for their heads, but I mean, you're talking about, you know, wanting some kind of carbonation, wanting some kind of foam. There's really not much there. Color-wise, it actually looks pretty fantastic. Slight murkiness to a deep, rich, ruby kind of tone. But, yeah. Kind of worried about the body on this sucker, because that does not bode well. Get a nose on her. Soft caramels, a little bit of bourbon, cherry booziness, but not necessarily booziness, more like candy, leftover candiness. maybe the slightest bit of smokiness, and that's pretty much it. So you get a little bit of like kind of malty sweetness, a little bourbon cherryness, maybe just a touch of caramel, stuff like that. Very subtle barley wine tones, very subtle bourbon tones, but at the same time, you know, that head combined with the nose, hopefully things go better. Cheers. I'll tell you what, that's pretty tasty stuff. The beer itself is made really well. It's skewing exactly how I like barley wines to skew. Rich, deep caramels with a ton of figginess, like rich kind of cherries. I believe that's kind of like the bourbon melding with the actual barley wine itself. We're talking about a late edition hop in there. I feel like I'm getting a kind of slightly kind of fruity hop presence off there. Nothing too bittering. A little bit of bittering, a little bit of fruitiness, but nothing too crazy. The malts carry the day in this. And it's a really tasty beer. The lack of carbonation is a bummer. Because I think if it had any sort of carbonation, it would absolutely be a fantastic fucking beer. Like top-notch, next-level stuff. But it doesn't have that. So it's still been pretty fucking tasty. Yeah, nice balance between the malts and the bourbon. Soft, gentle barrel in the background that you wish was maybe a touch more, but again, nitpicking on that. But again, I'm kind of excluding the whole carbonation thing out of this. It's just undercarbonated to the point where it's just, you know, it's not bad, but it's kind of a bummer because you just want that in your beer and you're just not getting it in here. They said it's a bottle conditioned beer. I don't know, maybe this didn't take off. It's 173 of 240, and maybe it just didn't have time to take off. I don't know if there is just a couple variant issues with specific bottles, but a little bit of carbonation, a little bit more carbonation out of that one than that previous pour. But still, criminally undercarbonated, which is a super bummer because it's actually a really tasty and really well blended beer. The beer is just where it should be. The amount of bourbon that's in there. The taste is absolutely English to a T with a slight little bittering to it that kind of makes it pop. I thought it was going to be sour based off the pour. Now I'm just assuming it's just carbonation didn't take off at all. Yeah. It's a tasty, well done barley wine. And the way they use the barrels are nice. Not over the top or overstated, but at the same time impactful enough to make you enjoy the beer. So, there you go. Yeah, let's talk about it. Is it one of the better barley wines I've had as of late? Barrel-aged barley wines I've had as of late? No. It could have been. It could have been up there with some of the best, except that carbonation kind of let me down. You know, value availability, I want to see, I think it was $18 for a bottle. You know, for a small brewery doing what they're doing, that's not that bad. The cork thing, a little weird. The carbonation thing kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's a tasty beer. I'm going to chalk up the cork and the carbonation to a new brewery doing the things that they do. I actually don't have a big issue with the money I spent on this because, you know, it's not necessarily the size of the brewery or how long they've operated, but where they've come from and how they're doing things. And I know, you know, with Manskirt coming from the background that they have, they're making good beers, but they're also not classically trained. So at the same time, I'm okay with a little bit of oddballness. Let's put it that way when it comes to beers. Again, I wish it was more carbonated, but at the same time, it's a tasty beer. I'm going to go this far. I'm going to go this far saying this is probably a beer bottle-to-bottle thing. I don't think this is inherent across the board. It could be, but I don't think it is. But I could see this being a bottle-to-bottle issue, that some of these are carbonated, some aren't. And it's a consistency thing. Again, consistency is a big thing in beer, but if you're a small brewery like this, to actually get a beer so not carbonated and still have it taste pretty damn fucking good is pretty fucking fantastic. And just leave it with, if you like, what will you like this? If you like barley wines, well-made barley wines, because it is a well-made barley wine, and the way they use the barrels is perfect. I can't stress it enough. If the carbonation was on, this would be up there with some of the best barley wines I've had as of late. There you go. Another review in the books. If you have words and stuff down there, if you want to check me out anywhere else on the internet, you can. Massive Beers, all the social medias, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice semi-homegrown barley wine right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.